Hey everybody, welcome into the Vent Live. My apologies if you came in a little bit early. Have been having a few technical difficulties, but we are back up and running. We are excited. For the people on Instagram, thanks for coming in. I see you. Facebook, thanks for coming in. YouTube, we are always excited to be in conversation. We're always excited to come together, to be able to have these chats, to be able to share information with one another in a safe, non-judgmental space, and a space where you can get practical resources, spiritual resources. You can get sound information. You can take it with you. You can share it with others. You can contribute. So the vent is communal. Every voice is valued. Every voice we want to hear. Every voice brings something to the table. So just your presence alone makes it what it is. You being present, you sharing with others, you commenting, you sending messages, it always contributes and makes our community that much better. So welcome. Thank you for coming in. The vent is here for community. So while you see me on screen, we are in conversation. Leave comments, say what's on your mind, ask questions. We are here for you. We are here with you, and we want to be in conversation together, not in a lecture. So thank you for coming in. If you're new here, the vent is a safe space to speak, to be heard. We just wrapped up our nightcap maybe 20 minutes ago, where we talked about the importance of community and having those people around you to encourage you, to push you forward, to help take the load off, as well as giving them their flowers. Tonight in this live, we are talking about being forged in fire. We are speaking on the duality of success. So while often culture, our communities, people around us teach us about success and what it takes to get there, we don't always see the other side of success and some of the more difficult things that we have to deal with. Some of the things we kind of have to forge our way through. Some of the things we got to have a little bit more fortitude to get through. So while the success is great and it's amazing and it's fun and it's rewarding, and we can help our families and we can build up different things, there's also a side of success where it's hard, where it's frustrating, where there's this pressure that's there, where you're trying to figure things out and you may not have a roadmap, where your relationships are shifting, you're trying to figure out what's going on with that, where people are looking at you kind of sideways, you can figure out, okay, what happened between us. It's this other side of success, right? The duality. It is the joy, but also the pain, right? It is the excitedness. Is that a word? I don't know. It's the excitement, but it's also the anxiety of, oh, this is new or this is different. It is the, oh man, we're doing a great job, but I also have to keep pushing. And what do I do with that as far as my mental health, as far as planning? How do I celebrate the wins, but also celebrate maintaining and being able to move forward at this same level or at a higher level or a different level or a further level? So tonight we want to talk about that. We want to look at that. We want to give you resources, practical things, spiritual, mental, emotional things that you can use so that as you accomplish things, as you move forward, as you press into your next, as you prepare for all that is to come, as you keep winning and going forward, you don't let that other side of success, where it gets a little murky, where it gets a little challenging, where you're like, we don't want that side to deter you. We don't want that side to stonewall you to further success. We don't want that side to have you stuck in a space where you're doing okay, but you could be doing better, because you don't want to continue with all the craziness that also comes with success. What's this quote? I think it's in Luke, that talks about, to whom much is given, much is required, right? So it is, when you get a lot, you got to give a lot, right? And giving a lot, sometimes it's giving more, but giving a lot, I was on the phone with one of my friends earlier, giving a lot is also giving up, meaning sacrifice, and not giving up with your journey, but giving up things that you once had, giving up things in places that you used to frequent. And sometimes that's people. And we don't really talk about that a lot until either we're in the space or we're trying to figure out the space, or we're right up in the thick of it. And now it's like, wait a minute, y'all didn't tell me this part. You didn't share this. I didn't know this was going to happen. I didn't see this one coming. So now let's talk about it, right? Let's really get into how when these situations, right? We're talking about fire and we're having our fireside chats. Let's talk about when it gets hot. And it's hot from excitement, but now it's getting a little stuffy in here. Right now, I don't know, this fire kind of burning me. I didn't think it was going to be like that. Now the smoke is kind of clouding my vision, and I really want to stay focused. How do I do that when looking at the duality of success, where this is great, but I'm also hurting in these areas, and I'm confused in these areas, and people are treating me differently, but I can't stop moving forward. I can't stop progressing. You cannot afford to stop where you are. You cannot afford to throw in the towel now. Can't afford to give up. Why? Because you have so much further to go, and you cannot expect to move forward without some type of opposition. Like, it's just, I don't know, but it's part of the process. It's like, y'all watch football. I watch football. I love football. Go Eagles, right? Part of that, if you watch football, basketball, anything, people are trying to move forward. Soccer, baseball, people are trying to move forward, but there's this other entity, this other team, this other challenger that's like, hold up, nah, I can't let you do that, right? But if you look at your team, they don't give up. They keep pushing, they keep moving, they keep taking the steps. So that I know that there's challenges, I know there are things that have come with it, but I have to keep moving forward because I got to score, I got to succeed, I have to get the win, and I have to keep on getting the wins, right? So let's talk about it. Let's hop in. Can y'all believe we're on episode 30? Like, that is crazy. For this season, we are on episode 30. I'm excited. I always love to like look back over what we've done. And tonight, just seeing 30 is like, wow, we've been talking. So here's the question for the crew, and you can answer it out loud or you can answer it to yourself. It's totally up to you. The question tonight is, y'all ready? What didn't they, whoever they is for you, your parents, your mentors, your teachers, your professors, your coaches, what didn't they tell you about success? Meaning, when you got to where you're going, as you're progressing through, what are some things that people didn't tell you? Did they forget to tell you that you have to figure out how to balance your time better? Did they forget to tell you that as you make more money, or people think you're making more money, more people will be asking you for things? Did they forget to tell you that you'll gain more responsibility, whether when people see you doing better, whether it's at work or in a family or community situation? Once people see you get to a certain level, you have almost like this assumed responsibility of taking care of others because you have more. Did they tell you that? Did they tell you that once you start making decisions, you don't have to just consider yourself, but you have to consider people around you? Did they tell you that? Did they? Or did they forget to tell you that there's this certain pressure that comes that you don't always share with other people, but there's a certain pressure that you hold on your shoulders because now I made it here and I can't afford to come down from this level. I either have to stay here and maintain it, or I have to go to a higher level or a deeper level or a further level. And that wrecks my brain sometimes. Did they tell you that? What didn't they tell you? Because did they tell you when you start making more money, Uncle Sam start taking more money? Did they tell you about it? Did they tell you? Did they tell you? And if they didn't tell you, we're here to give you some recognition, some acknowledgement, some awareness. There's some things that happen with success when we celebrate and we're happy, but there are also some things that happen and we got to figure out how we're going to press through these challenges. So let's kind of hop into that right now. The first thing, and this is not, let me be clear, this is not an all-inclusive list. These are just like 3 things that we want to hop into tonight so that we can just start recognizing some things. So there's some things that we know happen that may not be on this list, and maybe we'll do a part 2, part 3. But tonight, these are the things that we kind of want to hone in on because these are some common things, not exhaustive, but common. So one is the weight of responsibility. And we kind of talked about it already, but to whom much is given, much is required. What does that mean? It means that the more you succeed, the more people even see you as successful, with no matter what success means to you, the more that you're able to accomplish, even sometimes just the more visible you are, there's a certain responsibility, right? Whether you put it on yourself or other people try to put it on you, because you don't have to accept some of those things that comes with that. There is a certain weight that comes with that responsibility, right? I have the job now. It requires more of my time now. That's a responsibility. I am a fill in the blank now. So that means I have to do X, Y, and Z. My position changed, my position grew, my income changed. Now I have more responsibility. I'm an entrepreneur now. So I went from working 9 to 5, 7 to 3, 11 to 7. Now I'm working like all the time. Like there's no number for it, right? But nobody told me when I'm building my own income, sometimes the income and the outcome, it's not making sense, right? The math doesn't math. There's a weight there because now I have to maintain these things. Now I have to pay people's salaries. Now I'm responsible for making sure people have health insurance. Now I'm responsible for making sure these kids are mentored and I'm a good role model for them. Now I'm responsible for this major project at my business. Now I'm responsible for, and there's a weight that comes with that. And the big thing we want to talk about with that is we understand that there's a weight, right? We acknowledge that there is a weight. But what we will not do is allow that weight to drag us back, to drag us down, so that we're not able to do what we're called to do, what we're supposed to do, what we're purposed to do, what we're skilled to do, what we're gifted to do well. So what does that look like? That looks like taking inventory of all of your responsibilities, right? Taking inventory of everything that you're responsible for and then ranking it, prioritizing it. I'm responsible for X, Y, and Z. Some of us are responsible for A through Z, right? So now what we want to do is prioritize that. So heavier tasks, bigger tasks, tasks that take more time, tasks that are more urgent as far as time. Again, it depends on what kind of field you're in. There may be some things that have time constraints. There may be some things that are bigger projects, so you kind of need to knock those out. There may be some things that are time sensitive. There may be some things that are just more important just because of the order that you're doing. Like, this is more important because I can't do this without doing this first. So what does that mean? Take inventory of the things that you're responsible for and then start ranking them. So I can allot X amount of time for this. I can allot this much time for this. I can get this done on Mondays. I can get this done on Wednesdays. I'm going to make one thing that I encourage people to do, and I know everybody won't do it, but one thing that I encourage people to do is to try to make all of your heavier or larger decisions early. Because by 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 1 o'clock, many of us already have decision fatigue. You've been making decisions all day. You had to pick out what you had to wear. You had to pick out which route you're gonna drive to work, or you had to pick out, when I log on, I'm gonna do X, Y, and Z first. So get all your heavy decisions out early, so that by the end of the day, you're kind of coasting, or you're doing less things that have a big bulk of your day. So what does that look like? Start delegating things if you have the ability to. And for some of us, that may be get a virtual assistant. That may be, I have a team, so I can do, if I have a list of 10 things, I can do 1, 2, and 3. I can get this person to do 5 and 6. I can ask this person to do 7 and 8, and 9 and 10 aren't priorities. So we'll come back to that next week. Y'all know what I'm saying? So it looks like prioritizing to the point that when you look at your list, you also start crossing things out, because there's some things you thought were a priority, but they're not. So what does it have to do with the weight of responsibility? When you write your responsibilities down, or you start looking at and inventorying what you have as responsibility, you start to see what you have, and then you're able to rank how you're going to deal with those things. You can see what you have, and then you're able to rank it. So now you're not running over here, running over there, trying to get this done, trying to get that done, with no order. And now you are stretched thin. Now you're tired. Now you're taking unnecessary steps because you should have done this and then went over there, but you went over there, then you had to come back over here, then you had to go back over there, then you had to go. Now you're going back and forth and you're wasting time and you are wasting energy because there's no order to what you're doing. You're just kind of doing things and hoping for the best. So inventory those things and prioritize your responsibilities and cross out what is not a true responsibility and just something that you were doing because you don't want to even put your energy into that. Hope that makes sense. So the weight of responsibility, one, we acknowledge it. And how do we practically kind of tackle it is by prioritizing responsibilities, distinguishing what's a true responsibility versus what somebody may have tried to impose on me or somebody tried to put on me. And then deciding what can I delegate? What can I outsource? What can I get done quickly and check it off real quick? What order should I do this in? Because this depends on this, right? And then what things can I cross off the list because it's not really a priority? The weight of responsibility. And that is how you let go of some of those weights. Achieving success often means inheriting larger responsibilities from family expectation to community obligations. So that's kind of what we went over. Sometimes it's your family pulling over. They know that you're making more money. They know that you have more responsibility. So now it is, oh, well, can you do this? Well, can you do that? So that's also us setting boundaries and not being afraid of setting boundaries when it comes to family, when it comes to community. Because again, if you're always saying yes to things, you are not able to take care of you. If you're always saying yes to things, you start just saying yes out of what you feel is responsibility. Well, honestly, it may just be something extra that you should not be doing at all. So keep things in perspective along those lines. The other thing that comes with the weight often of success, right? You're doing great, you're soaring, your business is finally making money, you're in the black, you're finally profiting, you got the promotion, you're doing well on your job. It is the pressure of consistent performance. So you don't have to raise your hand, you don't have to comment, but whether you say it out loud or not, many of us have accomplished certain things, and then people are looking for what you're going to do next. Or you are thinking, okay, I've done this. Now I have to move further. So I have to almost like, not in a cocky way, but like I have to outdo what I already did. Because since I did this, now I got to do something even bigger, even better, because I have to top the last thing. Here's the caveat to that. Often we can put so much pressure on ourselves that we are not able to achieve things because the pressure has outweighed what we actually should be doing. So the pressure of consistent performance looks like, oh man, I'm so excited. I got the project done. I couched the client. I finished the project. We launched the business. We launched the organization. We raised that amount of money and we're excited. Now we're like, oh no, how are we going to stay here? So much pressure, right? How are we going to outdo this? What are people going to say? What are people thinking? Right? Whether you say it out loud or not, we don't live by the voices and the opinions of others. But there is a certain pressure that comes with when you're achieving things out loud or privately of, okay, now that we're here, what's next? What are we going to do to continue to move forward consistently? And while we are always mindful of milestones, while we're always setting goals, we always want to achieve, we always want to move forward, don't let what you want to do later shade what you have now. What does that mean? Do milestones. So the goal of my business may have been this year to raise $500,000. So 2025, we plan to raise $500,000. It's March of 2025. We have $100,000 so far. What we do is celebrate that $100,000, but we don't dampen the mood by saying, but it's not $500,000. You still have time. Celebrate the small wins on the way. We talked about football earlier, right? Anybody watch football knows that they have the chains out around to say, it's first down, second down, third down. How many yards you need to get to the next down or to go back to first down. Y'all know what I'm saying, right? So most football teams, most quarterbacks are not on every play trying to throw the football from one end zone to the next. Like, they're not trying to cover the whole field. What they're trying to do is get the first down. If we can get the first down, we can keep moving down the field. They can move the chains. I haven't, y'all tell me if y'all have. I have not seen any chains that are 100 yards long. I haven't seen them. If you've seen them, let me know. Tell me about your experience. Here's what I'm saying. It is intervals, and they're celebrating the milestones on the way. You ever been so excited when you're watching a football game or while you're watching a basketball game and somebody makes a free throw? And it is that milestone along the way where we're not at the end of the game yet. We haven't won yet. But if we could just get this next first down, if we could just get this free throw in, if we could score this next goal, we're going to celebrate along the way. So our consistency is in, okay, yeah, you know what? We got this first down. We're going to work towards another first down. We got this free throw. We're going to work towards making the next shot, right? We can't score 100 points off of one goal. We can't, you know what I'm saying? It is milestones along the way. We got a first down. We gained 30 yards. We may not be able to run the whole field, and that's not even the goal. The goal is to get there, but the goal is not to get there in one foul swoop. Not all the time. There are some moments where you go and you just go and you get there, right? We've seen people run from one end zone to the next, right? But that's not every game. Everybody not getting 500, 600, 700 yards a game. Why? Because they're celebrating the small, get to first down, get the shot in, and let's just keep doing that consistently. Because if we can keep doing that consistently, we can take off the pressure of accomplishing everything all at once. So don't put yourself under unnecessary pressure because of unrealistic expectations and goals. Take it one down at a time, get it, move the chains, and keep it going. Keep going. Keep moving the chains. Don't try to move all the chains all at once, because what's going to happen is our fire's going to burn out. What's going to happen is we're going to get tired from trying to do things that we were never meant to do. What's going to end up happening is the pressure is going to weigh down so much that often many of us will just stop because, man, I couldn't run the ball all the way back. When your coach, your team, they were never asking you to run it all the way back. They were asking you, just get to the first down and we can figure out the rest. We can work out the rest. We got plays for that. We got business plans for that. We can do that. We got community members that can help us with that. We got family members that can chip in and make sure that happens. Don't put so much pressure on yourself that you're not able to perform consistently because you're trying to take this big thing all at once. Here's a quote that goes with that. If you want to fly, you got to give up the thing that weighs you down. So for many of us, and this, let's be clear, you can't even do this in one night. We have to learn how to let go of others' unrealistic expectations of us. So if someone is putting pressure on you to keep doing this, keep doing this, and maybe you want to go a different route, we have to learn how to let go of unrealistic expectations. Like, hey, I understand this may be what you want from me, but that's actually not my goal. That's actually not what I want to accomplish, right? And maybe you tell them out loud, and sometimes you just know, like, hey, I appreciate your words. But that's not really the route I want, right? And other times it may be a simple, somebody's giving you unwarranted advice, or they give you, okay. Like, okay means I'm acknowledging what you're saying, but it doesn't mean that I have to receive it. Okay, yeah, I hear you. Right? Let go of the things even that you put on yourself, because again, using our example, I want to raise we raised $100,000, not 500. It's not. However, you have to let go of, I have to do it all at once. I have to do it all now, because culture has taught us, microwave, get it done, hurry up. When there are many moments where take your time. It's okay. Easy does it. You can get it done. It's not a problem. Just don't put pressure on yourself, or don't allow other people to put pressure on you to do things in their timing when you really are at a steady pace and you can keep moving forward. Last thing for tonight, relationship shifts. So there's a price that comes with some of our relationships where I got the new job. I'm in a certain position. Things have taken off with my business. My relationship status has changed. So now other relationships shift, right? You ever had friends when you were friends forever for the longest time, and then you accomplished something, you checked off a goal in your box, and they started separating from you. They started talking to you less. They may not have acknowledged things that you had going on, and y'all normally support each other all the time. The calls got, far and few in between. The text messages slowed down. They start, it was weird. Like, I don't know what's going on, but something going on. Things are shifting, things are changing, and you're like, okay, what's really happening right here? Right? And that could be family, that could be friends, sometimes they could be mates, that can be co-workers where they see you doing things and you may not even notice it at first, and you may not even notice what they notice. So you're accomplishing things, and people, you're building a relationship with people, and that's just your day-to-day, that's just what you do. But for them, it's like, well, how you get to do that? Well, I know you did that, but sometimes people will downplay what you did, or people will, literally start to separate from you or distance themselves. Relationship dynamics shift where maybe, they were on a high and their life was going really well. And you were always coming to them for advice, or you were always coming to them for them to pour into you. But now you're doing really well, and they don't feel comfortable doing the same thing because they want to be the person that you come to. But now they see your life taking off, they see your business taking off, they see your ministry taking off, and it's like, wait a minute, I don't know what to do with this, right? I'll tell you, like I told my daughter, that may be a good time to reassess who your friends are, right? Because if that's how it is now, sometimes we start noticing things that would happen before that we kind of brushed off, right? And sometimes it's just that everybody wasn't meant to go. Like, I'm not a big fan of cliches, but sometimes it's just that simple. Like, everybody just was not meant to go with you to the next level. And it doesn't mean that you have to be mad at each other. It doesn't mean that you have to be upset with each other. It just means that, while I was in that space, this relationship was great. But now that I'm here, this relationship may not be serving me, and I'm okay with the distance. And we don't have to argue. We don't have to fuss. We don't have to fight. We may have to have a conversation. We may not. It may just be one of those things where, hey, we just kind of stop talking. And that's okay. Because the people who celebrate you will be prominent, and you'll be able to know them. It's okay. People used to have this whole like no new friends thing. So sometimes, yeah, you do need some new friends. You need some people in the spaces that you're in. You need some people who genuinely support you. You need some people who genuinely celebrate you. You need some people who give you reciprocation. You need people in your life to match where you are. And it doesn't mean that you're better than anybody. It doesn't mean that, I'm here now, so I can't really, mess with you like that. No, it means that you need genuine connections. So if people are separating for you, or if they are no longer celebrating you, and these are the people who you consider friends, family, close, you may have to reanalyze what that relationship is, and if it is serving you. And if it is not, it's okay to let go of it. And that doesn't make you a bad person or them a bad person. It just may mean that this isn't the right connection. And it may be this isn't the right connection, period. Or it may be this isn't the right connection for now. But what I am a witness of is that the people that you need, the more you move forward, the more you continue to pursue purpose, the more that you do what you need to do, the people that you need, you will contact and you will connect with, and they will be there for you, and y'all will be there for each other. Here's the last thing with that. Don't be afraid to lose people. Be afraid of losing yourself trying to please everyone around you. So here's the other part of that. What you don't want to do is hold on to relationships that maybe you shouldn't even be a part of anymore. And you start changing yourself like, oh, I'm going to just play small because they get uncomfortable when I talk about this. Or, I'm going to just stay because we've known each other for so long. Or that's my cousin, so we got to. No, if it doesn't fit, it doesn't. I was about to say, if it don't fit, you must have quit. That is so not nothing to do with this. But if it don't fit, you may need to dismiss that relationship, and that's okay. Don't be afraid to lose people, because what you don't want to be doing is dragging around dead weight. You don't want to be dragging around debt. You don't want to be successful and achieving and moving forward, and you're dragging people who don't really want to be there with you. You're carrying weights that were never meant for you to have. You are dealing with the responsibility of success and everything that comes with success, and the anxiety and the stress and the joy, and you're dragging somebody that don't even want to be there. You don't have to do that. You weren't meant to do that. That's not that's not the goal. The goal is not to make people come. The goal is, I got you, you got me. Let's walk and step and do this together. Last thing, we are so excited to be able to bring these moments to you. We are so excited to be able to have real and raw conversation. We are so excited to not only be able to give, but to be able to experience with you. So the conversations, the meetups, the socials, the community engagement is amazing. The event has been a space for many of us to decompress, to rest, to feel seen, to be heard. I look forward to these conversations every day, every week, to just like, this is what we're talking about today, and to hear your experiences, to come alongside you and do this thing called life, because life be life, and don't it? And there are some things that we talk about openly and freely, and we do that, and we're excited. And there are other things that are a little bit harder. So if we do nothing else but provide you space where you can feel safe, even if you never say anything out loud, if we can provide space for you, and we're able to and have the privilege to provide space where, man, I've been wanting to talk about this, but I ain't know who to talk about it with. We are here for that. So we thank you for being part of our conversations, whether you're on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram. We thank you for all the people who meet us in person, and we are always grateful for every way that you contribute. I will say it is Giving Tuesday, and one of the things that we look forward to with Giving Tuesday is being able to provide things for other people. So what does that look like? That looks like us traveling to different spaces. That looks like us being in different states. That looks like us bringing mental health resources. That means that we're able to contribute to the community holistically. So while we host things online, we host things in person. There are many things that we do behind the scenes. There are many things that we do and we don't post. There are many things that we do, and we do it as our board collectively and individually. And one way that we're able to do that, or the main way we're able to do that, is because we have community. So on this Giving Tuesday, we do appreciate every gift. We appreciate every person that contributes, whether, again, you share, whether you contribute financially. If you're able to do that, you can visit theeventmovement.life, click donate now. All proceeds go to our nonprofit so that we are able to continue to give into community, to build better, brighter futures, to give a voice to those who have been silenced, and to create safe spaces both virtually and in person for people to come together and to get what they need mentally, physically, emotionally. So thank you for everyone who has contributed already. We are growing closer and closer to our goal. Thank you for those who share. Thank you for those who say, hey, look, I got you. Thank you. We appreciate you because you don't have to do it. So thank you for your time tonight. Thank you for joining us for this Fireside Chat. We will catch you again next Tuesday for this Vent Live conversation, but we'll catch you tomorrow at 8 p.m. for our Vent Nightcap. Good night, everybody. It was amazing to talk to you. Amazing to see you. We will see you next time.